Hello. How are you? 12 o'clock on the dot. My goodness, I have been polypunctual these last several lives. For me, I am usually actually early, which sometimes can be as bad as being late. But now that we have, these things that we walk around with and we can watch a movie. God, I remember the good old days when we didn't have all this. And if you were early somewhere and you had time to kill, what did we do? Did we play like tic tac toe on a stone tablet? Oh, God, you guys, times have changed. Yes, the internet has brought us, many good things and, some not heels. You're the door. Oh, guess what? You get to be the door holder today. Oh, Constance is live. And I was actually listening before I came in here. Y'all, I swear to God, this place is 50 Shades of Cray Cray. Which segues nicely into my first thought that I need to get out. And I need to remember to do this every live, and I'm going to make a heels. Hold on. I've been meaning to do this, and give me one moment, please, everyone, while I take care of some housekeeping matters. Okay, let's see here. All right, we got that. Here we go. My goodness, I'm just getting to be I might have spoken too soon. Oh. Okay. Pardon me one moment while I go to my other channel, Fashionistas, Felons, and Fruit Loops. You guys, I stream on 2 channels simultaneously. The chats do not merge. I can see both chats. You guys can only see the chat that you're on. So, there it is. Okay. Let's see if I can do this. There we go. Yay! Oh, look at you. Not only do you get to be the door holder, you get to be the boss of the whole chat. Hey, Alabama, how you doing? Alabama, I think I was just replying to a comment from you. Y'all, I try to answer my comments in a timely fashion, but, since I'm so far behind on lots of other things in my real life that are, slightly more important, I really appreciate the fact that 95% of the time the comments are very lovely and easy to understand, except for one I got yesterday, which it could be that I fully acknowledge things get lost in translation, in comments, in text messages, things like that. I do get that. But this one, I was like, we should maybe play Pictionary because emojis are very helpful, and I might be able to understand this more if we did it with pictures instead of words. I did give that commenter high marks for punctuation. But yeah, I'm pretty sure they were not probably a big fan. But if you were, and my snark was offensive, please and thank you, and Sorry, but we're gonna have to. I'm gonna have a little more clarity though before I can make that full determination. I think I got a pretty good grip on which camp this person was in. Okay. Hey, Cece Jones, how you doing? Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Christina Logan, how are you? But what I was saying before I detoured myself down a service road. You know how everybody says the YouTube rabbit hole? Well, sometimes I tend to take myself, like, we'll be cruising along just fine on the big freeway or the interstate or whatever the case may be. And, for whatever reason, I take myself down a service road, probably thinking that I'm avoiding a little bit of traffic, but ultimately just causing me to forget what I was talking about. So that's why I write these things down. But what I was going to say, and what I need to remember to say on every episode, is please, no, do not send hate, harassment, but my God, definitely do not dox anyone that I speak about here. I do not have any personal animosity or ill will for any of these people. If they spontaneously burst into flames and I had a bucket of water next to me, I'd probably water my grass with it. But that does not mean that, that's a joke for those of you that take things very literally. That was a joke. But I don't want to see anyone have anything bad befall them just because I think you're an ass clown and you make it into the dossier. Well, that doesn't mean that I want to see something bad happen to you, because I'm very together in the psychological / psychiatric category. You definitely do not have to worry about. I don't roll like these people do. Okay, so everything I say is in jest. It's comedy from somebody who is actually a little bit funny, unlike one of the people I'm going to talk about here, who is just a salty bitch. People. And I don't even beg you to pay me for my, comedy nuggets. Oh God, y'all, if I wanted to torture you, I actually have 2 cowbells in my living room. They belong to a family member who's no longer with us, and they're just kind of like they're symbolic of something. And if I wanted to pay an homage to that not very funny person, well, I'd go get those bells and I would blow your damn eardrums out. Good God, bells. Anybody who listens to her on the regular is going to need to go to, what's that place called? Audible, or, because you're going to need hearing aids. And I would say send her the bill, but she would have to grift from someone else to pay it. So save your time. But my goodness, I would think in this very litigious YouTube society that we are in here, I would think that if you're going to be doing something on the regular that can cause, permanent hearing loss, I would imagine, if you're exposed to it over a prolonged period of time, well, my goodness, maybe she should make everybody sign a rider on the way in the door, or a non-disclosure. No, not a non-disclosure. Oh, well, the audience should send her a cease and desist, and they could, y'all could ring Betty up. I hear she works on the cheap. Of course, her cease and desist will more than likely be riddled with spelling errors. Punctuation will probably be non-existent, and the content included therein will more than likely be factually wrong. Oh my God, Switzerland. Jasmina D, welcome. I've actually been to Switzerland. Where was I? Zurich, maybe. I stayed in a lovely, what do they call them? Like, a chalet. And it was on a beautiful lake. Oh, I would love to go back. And I went to the Matterhorn. Switzerland is beautiful. My goodness, what time is it there? What's today? Tuesday? Is it still Tuesday there? Okay. Jasmina only watches the clips. I agree. Yes, I would listen if I had to watch any of these tools, and I mean Fisher Price tools. No, I'd have to come in here and talk about, I don't know, watching grass grow. Whatever. That is something I would not be willing, nor could I do. Hold on, I just wanted to see one other thing. Alabama, yes. Well, I tell you what, I've been known to yell, and I don't mean to do it well, yeah, no, I do. I usually do. When I yell, I'm trying to get a point across. But the bell is I just think it's a really douchey thing to do. Because listen, I don't give a damn how much those people like her, all four of them. Nobody appreciates having to have their eardrums blown out by that bell. I mean, honest to God, if I'm wearing AirPods and somebody does something like that, in fact, I was watching the Murdoch trial on Emily D. Baker's channel. If any of you all are interested in watching the trial, I mean, we all know it is streaming from a million different platforms, Law and Crime, Court TV. I like to watch it on A Real Lawyer. Yeah, no, not Betty's channel. I said A Real Lawyer. One who didn't get her law degree at JLU. And because I like the commentary that the real attorneys give you, not that, all of us stupid people who aren't as smart as Betty and don't have the vast scope of legal knowledge that she has. Well, some of us dumbasses, we like to hear a real lawyer's interpretation of maybe rulings that are made, objections, blah, blah, blah. Hey, Birkin, how you doing? So, hold on. There's one other comment I thought. Hi, Sarah Silver. How are you? Donna Couch. Cincinnati. Damn, is it cold there? In Florida today, y'all. It is, I'd say it's mid to high 70s at the moment. I don't know that we'll hit 80 today. And that's why I'm wearing a jacket, because the days of, being able to wear anything long sleeved and even silk, those days are rapidly coming to an end. So I thought, well, I'll do it today because not many more days left. Hey, Savage, how are you? So, yeah. All right. So just remember, please, y'all, we got enough low class, trashy behaving dipshits running around here. They got that well covered and fully in hand. So please don't just be better than they are, because we are. And I don't care what you gift wrap your black soul in to dress it up. All right. Yes. And here's another thing I'm going to keep asking until I get an answer. And if they can give me an answer that I can A, understand, and or B, even admit that, oh, okay, yeah, I can see your point there. Because that, normal people, you can do that. Just because I intensely dislike many of these people, that does not mean that if I say something about them or something they're speaking on and I am wrong, I promise you, I don't have the slightest problem at all coming in here and admitting being wrong and or apologizing for it. I'm just not that person. There are lots of people who, there's a reason Elton John wrote that song. Sorry seems to be the hardest word. For many people it is. It is not for me. So along with the please don't harass, dox, hate, I'm going to keep saying, at least for myself, and I'm sure many others, but I won't presume to speak for everyone. I am not a hater. I'm going to need them to break that down for me, because I think hater is just a very broad, vague term. So first, I'm going to need you to narrow that down a little bit, because, I would think that hate could run the spectrum from, well, just a little bit to, like I said, if you spontaneously combusted on my yard and I had a bucket of water, I'd probably water the grass with it. But I'm going to need you to define it for me. And if and when you can do that, well, the real important part, I'm going to need you to tell me what it is that you've got that I want so badly that I come on here and drag you. No, I come on here and I drag these people and I hold a mirror up to them. I can't help it that it's like, the mirror when you have to buy a bathing suit in the mall in, the most cruel lighting that God ever put on the planet, the 360 mirror from What Not to Wear. I mean, I didn't invent the mirror, people. Sorry. So I'm sorry you don't like what is staring back at you, what's being pointed out to you. And hey, this is just my opinion, because, you could turn the mirror around to me, and that doesn't mean that I'm going to see what you see. I get it. Okay. I totally understand that. But that's all I'm doing. I want nothing that any of you have. I have a lovely family, a very nice life. I'm quite fulfilled, thank you. So that's all there is to it. Can you all say the same? All you docs and mofos, you nutty ass people who want to get this involved in somebody else's life. I mean, I hate to keep beating this drum, but it is what it is. And I just think that anybody who has a channel that doesn't agree with what they do, and listen, this isn't a matter of just finding it like, oh, well, God, that's pretty gross, and I wouldn't do that. I mean, this is next level. These people kind of like I make a sport out of dragging them for filth. They do the equivalent to people they don't know. They think that whatever idiocy they've heard on YouTube, like that's the gospel truth. And they then take that information and, you know, let's just say that when they get their full-on pimping machine, like all the pimps getting their Scooby and Shaggy pimp van, creeper van, and they get their, they get their full pimp on. Well, there's several villages that are looking for their missing idiots. But fortunately, they're usually all found together, huddling around a bullhorn, an off-season coach bag, and wow, y'all need to start shopping in better places. I mean, yeah. Molly, you can't afford to buy my, no. But I'm sure Mal was thrilled. Okay. Yeah. So go ahead and y'all start working on that. Because I promise that once you tell me and whoever else is going to pose the same question to you, once you can tell me what it is I want, well, I mean, then we'll have a dialogue opened up, won't we? And we can work on that. And hey, I mean, if you can give me something that I'm in desperate need of, we'll talk. Savage, thank you for the shout outs. I appreciate it very much. And before we get rolling here, Earth. I didn't know Earth had a channel. I was looking just before I came in here. I love it. Very cool. Earth is a sub, and I see her, in all the chats. I didn't know. Please, anybody who has a channel, and you haven't seen me comment on anything on your channel, please tell me. Oh, savage. Only a plastic one. Only a Barbie one. I'm not a baller like Molly. Damn. On a side note, since you opened up that service road, some people fall down rabbit holes. I go down service roads. There is a girl on here. You want to see a closet that is, let's just put it this way. Anybody else that's got a closet tour on YouTube, once you've seen Jamie Choa, I believe her name is. Holy shit. First of all, it requires fingerprint access. And you want to talk about a Birkin in every color? I mean, I've seen some closets in my day. She, hands down, has the biggest closet filled with some beautiful things. I mean, some people, listen, there's lots of people who are rich and their taste is in their ass. This girl is obviously wildly, well, wait a minute, who did she marry? They're divorced now. And she met him on a flight. I think she's Indonesian or she lives in Indonesia. Beautiful girl. Damn, I can't remember who it is, but it is a huge, like Amazon level kind of company. My God, was she a flight attendant? No, I don't think she was the flight attendant. I don't know, but whew, that was damn best flight she ever booked. And the closet is, I mean, Neiman Marcus, the whole upstairs, like, because Neiman Marcus has different parts of the store. And, like the one where I live, Chanel has their own designated boutique within the store. Upstairs is like all the really super swanky, real high-end designer, like, Dolce & Gabbana, Pucci, just the real serious, not the more like contemporary brands that are still crazy expensive, but, not. Her closet is nicer than our local Neiman Market. So if y'all want to see a badass closet, it's Jamie. I think it's CH. I'll put it in the chat. Let's see. Okay, I think that's it. Choa, Jamie Choa. Just put in Jamie and amazing closet. Oh, the bracelet. You want to see the bracelet? Isn't it cute? It's not picking up in here because I turned the overhead light off. It's too hot. But this is all crystal, and it's a little big on me because I have a small wrist. But oh wait, let me turn it the other way and you'll be able to see it better. It's really cute on. My sister-in-law bought that for me. Thank you. I appreciate it, Robin. Donna, girl, I'm going to tell you something funny about scrubs. And I'm sure one of these pimp people will hear this and they're going to call my local sheriff's department and try to get them to swear a warrant for me. Shauna L. Is that how you say it? Welcome. I haven't seen you before. Oh, Savage, I do have some flamingo earrings you might like. They're about that long, and they're Betsy Johnson. I think I got them at TJ Maxx. I love TJ Maxx for hair stuff, makeup. Oh my God. Oh, and they're jewelry, and they got a lot of good like costume jewelry too. But those are they're Betsy Johnson, and they're flamingos, and they hang about that long, and they're super light. I'll bring them in here. If I remember, I'll post them. Oh, Shauna, that's very nice. I appreciate that. Okay. Oh, the scrubs. Back to the scrubs. The last time I had a mammogram at the local hospital, they gave me a scrub top. No, wait a minute. No, was it an X-ray? I don't know. I had to have imaging done. And for some reason, I had the bottoms and the scrub top. And I don't know, I just, I felt some type of way about that scrub top. I was very attached to it. I love the fact that on the back of it said property of, and I stole it. I figured, you know what? All the insurance premiums I pay. And I would have taken the damn pants too, but my purse was too small. I was already trying to figure out, how am I going to roll this scrub top up? Now you watch, one of these dumbasses is going to call and say, that girl, she stole from the hospital. Yeah, and when I had to spend the night one night, I was trying to like help myself to stuff off the little tray they came in. When they come in to do all the shit they do where they wake you up like, oh, I don't know, every hour on the hour. Oy vey. Hey, Fairy Dust, how are you? Hummingbirds. They're so pretty. My husband feeds the birds. We have a lot of bird feeders because I kind of live in the sticks in the woods. So we have lots of wildlife around here. Put it this way, when I take the dog out, the only time I don't put him on a leash is at night because he's getting old, and during the day, I don't trust his fuzzy little ass. He doesn't listen to me for shit. Nothing. That dog will just keep on going like I'm not even there. My husband, all he has to do is say one word, and that dog's like, So at night, I let him, that's the only time that he won't, he won't wander anywhere. I open the back door. I always go out there with him, but at night, I don't put him on a leash. But I can tell you that it's so rural where I am that when you hear, and I have tons of pine trees around my house, so there's like a carpet of pine needles and oak leaves, all the shit that falls off the trees. At night, you always hear what sounds like a bunch of paper being crumpled up. Oh yeah, that's for all the, I don't know, possums, armadillos. Hey Prissy, how are you? In fact, did I ever tell y'all my badger story? I will never live this down. You know how we all have some story within your family that you will never live down? Well, here's mine. Well, I'm sorry, one of mine. I came home one night years ago after taking my son. They had some kind of activity at school in the evening. This is when he was in high school. So I got home, and at the time I was driving a really small 2-seater sports car. And where I live, there's no street lights. It is rural. I get home and I'm completely freaked out because something, shot across the front of the road. And I didn't hit it, but it freaked me the hell out. And I came in and I said, honey, oh my God, I almost just hit a badger. And he's like, what? I said, a badger. I was on, whatever the road was. And out of nowhere, here comes this thing. It's about this long and it's shiny, black, slick looking. I said, and it just hauled ass across the front of the car. I said, it was, another couple seconds and it would have been part of my front grill. And he's like, number one, we don't have badgers. I'm like, oh, no, trust me. He's like, honey, we don't have badgers in Florida. He said, I'm pretty sure it was an otter. I'm like, an otter? What the hell? We don't have otters just strolling around out there. He's like, yeah, right where you were. There's a big old lake or a pond. They're looking for the water. I was like, oh, okay. So when I gifted Prayer Garden of America, you know how I like my list, my funny lists? Well, I came up with the list for PG. And the very last thing on the list was, I think the way I put it was, PG, I think you need a pet because you're so damn mean that, they say a pet will, calms people down. It takes some of their anxiety, Anyway, I gifted her, I said, they say this animal is the meanest animal on earth. For the meanest woman on earth, a honey badger. It's a shame that I couldn't go to Petland and just pick one up. But Betty, Bullhorn Betty, she's very pro puppy mill, from what I understand, based on her Bureau of County Commissioner meetings. Y'all, I don't live that far from where she goes and torments those people. Can you imagine if I just rolled up into that BOCC meeting? I think that would be hilarious. The look on her face alone would be priceless. But yeah, I got better things to do with my life. Okay, sorry. I know we've gone far afield of we've taken a service road to a rabbit hole, and now we're getting back on track. Okay. Oh, the only other point that I need to make is that you would either have to have one of two things, possibly both, to keep up with all of the, 12-ring circus that goes on in this place every single day. You would either have to dedicate your entire life to just 24/7 watching YouTube and watching all the beefs that everyone has with each other. Jack's mom. Yeah, I mean, I'm not as funny as PayPal Mouth, but I try. Listen, the way I look at it is we got enough like ugly, messy bitches in this place who are not funny, who like all these people make me want to cry. So if I can make anybody laugh, I'm happy to do so, including myself. I make myself laugh all the time. My husband, bless his heart, he thinks I'm kind of funny too. I actually, there's several people in my family that are fairly funny. Oh. And there's different kinds of funny. They are not any kind of funny. I think that's might be why I piss them off a lot. And I can laugh at myself. That's like that is something that I think they could all use a big old bucket full of. Like, y'all need to drink from that fire hose every now and again. Just stick your face right down there in it. It'll only hurt for a minute. Oh, yes. Hey, Tuesday child, how are you? Oh, for the love of God. And now we got turquoise waving. Are y'all punking me? I just learned the damn pink hand waving. And now we have, I promise you, what did that just say? Quote, person turquoise waving. Y'all, I don't know why I can't see. I can't see pink hands, blue people. I don't know what the deal is. Prissy, I don't know who told that bitch she's funny either, because I promise you, whatever comedy club she had her glory days in, I would take that challenge. Let's just say that. And some of she tries way too hard. That's the thing. Very few people who have to really try, and you can tell they're trying. I don't find people like that funny. I think I like to call it witty repartee. Okay. Fairy dust, lol's cows. Do you know that the first time I have ever heard that term was when I was here the last time? Burnt toast came across my radar. Oh, because she was kind enough to clip something. I think it was a weekend, I think, and she clipped something that I had done about Betty, and I met her, and I met the term "lol's cows." I kept hearing her say it, and I'm like, what the hell's a lol's cow? Like, is that a dairy cow or a beef cow? Like, do we eat them? What is but now I know what one is. I don't know. I think at least one part of that moniker is correct. And it would not be the laughing part. Yeah, I don't find them funny. No. The funniest people are it's spontaneous. And it, like, not to blow my own horn too much, but I will tell you this. I have to hold myself back. I have to have a talk with myself. I have to tell myself, Lisa, no, that one, yes, oh God, that is a good line, but oh God, don't say it because, you're going to get the PC police and we're going to talk about that at the end. Okay, sorry, kids. I'm far afield of where we need to be. Feel free to say, hey, bitch, shut up, get back on track. I'm not here for all this. All right, what are you here for? We're going to talk about a video from Heels in the Air yesterday that I had planned on talking on yesterday, but I had already been on here close to 2 hours, and my baby called me on the way home, and I wanted to talk to him. So I said, "Okay, guys, I gotta go. But I will come back tomorrow, and we'll finish this." So that's what we're doing. Prissy, that's because we're old. We don't know all this. I'm not woke, so I don't know all these terms, but that's okay. Kind of like I told Coco with the Grammy, and I didn't know who any of those people were. Like, that's how you know you're getting old. It's better than the alternative. All right, Betty. So we're going to talk about briefly this video that Heels put out yesterday morning. If y'all are not subbed to Heels in the Air, of course you all are, but if there is someone out there in the YouTube universe that is not, please go sub to her. She, along with all the other great clip channels, is doing God's work, doing kind of like Mike Rowe and Dirty Jobs. She's doing the very filthy job of keeping up with the pimp people. Okay. So the video, this is how I left it yesterday and where we'll start today. Heel showed a clip she had done from approximately 1 year ago, and then present day. And kind of like the title of this, what was the title of this? I didn't change the title on both of these. Okay. On Crimes and Fashion, the title of this live says, I think it says, Betty edumacates all us idiot people. Yes, the world's, one of the world's most condescending, wrong-ass people on the regular, Miss Bullhorn Betty, in my opinion, allegedly, hypothetically, for entertainment purposes only. Hey, Morning Glory, how are you? Oh, Lord, what time is it over in Ireland? Let's see, it's 12:42 here. 7 or 8 o'clock at night? Are you just rolling in from happy hour last night, or are you getting ready to eat dinner? So yeah, she shows a clip of Betty from a year ago, and then to, like, somewhat present day. And yesterday, I think it would be hard to improve on what I said yesterday. And what I said yesterday was, my God, girl, what a difference a day makes. Holy shit. I'm sorry, not a day, a year. Sorry, that was an after-school special from one of the networks I just ripped off. Do y'all remember that? What a difference a day makes. I think that was the Today Show. And what was the other one? Was it After School? No, they're little public service things with the star and the rainbow. The more you know. Yes, Betty. Oh boy, Betty. That should be your mantra. I know you're very religious. You let God guide you. Gosh, maybe you should, I don't know, maybe a little Buddhist or Hindu think, gosh, that might be a good mantra for you. The more you know, in which your case, you're going to have to do a little catch up, Betty. You're a little behind the 8 ball, as they would say. Not that kind of 8 ball. Yeah. My goodness, what a difference 1 year makes, Betty. Betty, you had hair a year ago, pumpkin. And while I'm not going to say that it was healthy looking, it was actually intact. So that's a good thing. It was a far sight better than where we are now. So, see, it is dinner time. Well, I hope you're having something good. Yeah, Betty, girl, I know that this place is like the Hunger Games. I get it. Hey, Sheba Mom, how are you? I'm sorry, I saw you come in earlier. I meant to say hello. Oh, BHB and Prayer Garden. Yeah, they go to the same church. I would say that they both believe in the prosperity doctrine very much. The Church of the What's Happening Now. God, I don't know. Oh, isn't there? Oh, is there anybody on here that knows about this Tyler Feller? He believes in the prosperity doctrine, and I think he might be a tragedy pimp. Allegedly. I don't have any independent knowledge of him, but I've been hearing his name a lot lately. And apparently, the good Lord shall provide. And something tells me his collection basket overfloweth. Although Super Chat's just going in electronic. Do y'all remember that when you were a kid and they would like pass around the real basket and you would get envelopes? I'm Catholic. I don't go to church hardly at all anymore, ever, I should say. But I came from a time when the church, I think, at least every few months would send you a nice supply of envelopes that you were supposed to put your weekly donation in. And my goodness, I mean, believe it or not, the Catholic Church, they take these things seriously. And if they didn't see your envelopes rolling in on a regular basis, well, then you get when you have to go to the principal's office and you get called in, or like when I would get in trouble as a kid, my parents would sit in the formal living room, like when I told you about my white collar criminal career. So yeah, don't mess around with these, religious organizations and their envelopes. But now, if you have a Super Chat wallet, well, you don't need that damn basket and envelope. It's never ending. Oh, Prezi girl, don't you worry about any of that. I know you're just hanging out is very fine. Please do not worry about having to greet people and all that. I mean, I'm supposed to be doing that. Oh God, morning glory. Of course, you know all about that, being Irish, the luck of the Irish. Yeah, so if anybody's, I don't know, should I look into him? Does anybody want to hear? When I say I look into him, I mean nothing more than watch some of his content. Because I've been hearing his name quite a bit flying around. So yeah, Betty, good Lord, girl. I mean, if I saw and listen, she watches all of it. She watches every bit of it. I don't care what she says. Because in her own mind, I promise you, she thinks, well, clearly she's from the Barnum and Bailey school of all publicity is good publicity. I mean, I don't have to know her to know that that's got to be at least part of her philosophy. Look at her, okay? She is constant. Betty, what I wrote down was, if your intellect even came close to matching your ego, well, my goodness, girl, we'd have nothing to talk about, would we? That is how I know that she is completely non-self-aware, because I think the way I usually put it is, you have to be a special kind of fool to get drug from Maine to Spain over things that you do repeatedly. I mean, I'm not talking about like the shit that people who don't like me say to me. You're old. You've got fake tits. Do you think you're cute? I do. I'm not talking about things like that. I'm talking about things that you repeatedly get wrong, but either don't care enough or aren't bright enough to I don't know. If it was me and I got drugged 87,000 times and counting because I cannot use the word behoove in the proper context. And Betty, it's not that hard to remember how to use that word. In fact, my husband came up with a helpful hint. How did he put that? All you have to do, Betty, is remember that behoove is kind of synonymous with would benefit you, would be in your best interest. Wouldn't you think something so simple that, I mean, she must just enjoy getting drugged, which takes us back to my original thought of Barnum and Bailey School of Public Relations, media presence. All publicity is good publicity. I mean, that's fine. For her, I guess. I don't want to be known as, that dumbass who just, I don't get it. And I would think for someone as thin-skinned as she is, I mean, if I had to sit up at night in the, 17 minutes that I don't spend on YouTube, I think I would, I'd get my little glasses and I'd like when you used to get in trouble in school or at home and let's say you were talking in class and the teacher would say, Betty, you need to write 100 times. I will not talk back and be a condescending bitch to the teacher who I think I know more than. I mean, I would just call me crazy, but that's what I would do. I would make sure that my haters, I'm not going to spoon feed them stuff. And God knows I've told her 100 times how to use behoove. Everybody has. So how she doesn't feel the need to even fix these things that are very easy to fix. And for somebody who's so damn condescending in her beautiful gamer chair with her broken off fried hair, as she, thinks she's going to school a federal judge and, everything in between. Oh God, I can just see her. Like, I guarantee you, everybody who interacts with her every day of her life, whether it's the poor person working in the McDonald's drive-through who she's, I'm sure reading for filth over something, straight up to all of us who try and, Betty, if you weren't such a belligerent, hyper-aggressive, condescending bitch, maybe people wouldn't take such pleasure in seeing you get a little comeuppance. But they do, because you are. And she'd like you to think she doesn't care, but I believe she very much cares. And that's why she cannot tolerate any dissent. If I heard the other day, what is that screen name? They were in here the other day. Blank screen? Is that I think it's blank screen. I mean, all she has to do is see that name and you wind her up like a top. And I guess it's because, I don't know, you have the audacity to hold a mirror up to her. I don't know. Hi, Blonde PT. How are you? Beer can, the M&Ms. Yeah. Tuesday child. Listen, this is not like it was 25 years ago where women, the only time a woman would wear a wig was, it was usually very elderly women who were losing their hair or whatever. And even then, it was few and far between. Nowadays, my God, everybody wears either, well, she's not a candidate for extensions, I can assure you of that. Her hair, listen, all joking aside, I asked my hairdresser, and I already knew the answer, but it has been confirmed by a professional. Someone send Brad Mondo one of her videos, okay? There's no salvaging any of that. It all needs to be completely cut off at the shortest point where the breakage is and just start over. And that's the thing. It's like, get away. That would be yet another thing she could take away from all the people who ride her like a rented mule for fun. And I'm telling you, to me, at least for me, if she wasn't such a nasty bitch, I wouldn't say any of this stuff about her. You find me the person I have ever drugged who wasn't just a pretty nasty, shitty person. I don't go looking for people to tell about themselves. But in her case, Tuesday child, yes. My God, the wigs that are out there, and you can get them even decent. You don't have to spend a bunch of money. And contrary to what some think, this is all Lisa's hair. Lisa has no hair extensions. I don't wear a wig. Not that it matters if I did. I've said before, listen, when y'all say something about me that's true, I'll own it or I'll shut up and take it. It's when things are not true that's what irritates me. It's like there's bust on me for things that I really say or do, not for things that have no basis in fact at all. And it ain't about my hair, it's about hers. So yeah, Betty, I would strongly encourage you, girl, look at yourself from a year ago-ish. I don't know how long she's been here on YouTube. Seems like, a century, but I don't think it has been. Maybe 2 years. I don't even think it's been 2 years, has it? And truly, and listen, it's not just her hair. Despite how much I can't stand her, I truly do not think that I don't know. It looks like something is going on with her. I'm not going to speculate about what that could be. I'm sure other people have, but she doesn't. I mean, this. And listen, if I had to rely on this to eat and pay my bills, I would buy stock in Mylanta or Pepto-Bismol because I would have an ulcer. I truly would. Oh God, it does almost make my stomach clench to think about having to do all that to pay the bills. And just look at the pictures. That's all I need to say about that. Look at the pictures because she looked better a year ago. So yeah, Betty, if your intellect matched your ego, we wouldn't have anything to talk about. So in this video, Betty is lecturing all of us on fair use. And you know, it's one thing to be just a condescending asshole tyrant. It's one thing to be like that when you've got standing. Betty, you should know what that means, girl. When you've got standing to be that way. But when you're a whole ass joke, I don't understand why this message is never received. I mean, oh, morning glory, that's so sweet. Oh, now we have purple, blue, peace glasses, purple, yellow, diamond face, fuchsia tongue. Oh. That's what I see. And I don't see the emoji. I see hand, purple, blue, peace glasses, purple, yellow, diamond face, fuchsia tongue out. Are you sending me smoke signals? Is that what are those? I love Morning Glory. Morning Glory is an OG who's very clever and has done more than one gotcha move on me. Yeah. Oh, fairy dust, I believe. Not aging well. Yeah. When you're black inside, when you're empty, soulless. Yeah. I mean, all kidding aside, I'm like a decade older than her. And I'm just going to leave it there. So Betty's very hot under the collar about fair use. And our legal professional extraordinaire, which Betty, by the way, all of that is another reason you're a whole ass joke. Because you jump up and down standing on your Black Law Dictionary, which, by the way, is called a Black's Law Dictionary, which I would not expect anyone not in the legal profession or the periphery / fringes of said profession, whether you are a attorney, whether you are a receptionist in a law office, a paralegal, whatever the case may be. I wouldn't expect the average lay person to know that it's called a Black's Law Dictionary, not a Black Law Dictionary. So as you are standing on top of your Black Law Dictionary and you know, you're standing on one, you've got another one in your hand that you want to club all us dumbasses over the head with and tell us you are a legal professional. Betty, listen, honey, you don't always have to lead with screaming your ass off. I don't have to come in. I may say what I'm wearing when I make a video, but that's part of the shtick of the channel, okay? But what I don't do is say, I am spectacularly clad today. I am X, Y, and Z. I've got the greatest taste in the world. I look fabulous in this color. You see what I mean? Like, you don't have to do all that. I think that people are smart enough to, you know, put the pieces of this very little puzzle together. You know, like the kind when your kids, they were big wooden pieces and they had like little knobs or like, yeah, like little knobs. So you could usually, you know, it was like a farm. There'd be a red silo and a pink pig. It's like you don't have to, you screaming at people about your fine legal mind. It doesn't matter what you scream. It's very obvious that you do not know anything remotely close to what you think you do. And I don't know. Hi, Hippie, how are you? I meant to say hello to you earlier too. I'm sorry. Y'all, I'm trying to get better about reading the chat and talking at the same time, but I'm afraid if I practice that too much, these are going to be like, you know, certain channels you really like, but you'll go by and see, oh, they did a new video. Oh, it's 9 hours. I am now getting to the point where I can see how that would happen. So yeah, Betty, just a piece of advice from one woman to another. If you maybe took the condescending attitude problem down a notch or two, you would be surprised how much ammunition you could take away from your haters. So she's very pissed about fair use, and I guess, you know, her thoughts that people are Molly Collie. I love that name. I like that comment too. Cheese. Is it cheese or cheesy? I think it's cheesy. Like cheesy Wheezy? Wheezy. Do you remember George and Wheezy? We're moving on up. Only the old people know that. To the deluxe apartment in the sky. God, I used to love that show. So yeah, Betty's very upset about people stealing her work. And she's in her gamer chair with much more intact hair follicles. And she literally thinks that the audience does not understand and cannot differentiate between the word may and the word shall. Okay. This always takes me back to my question. Who are these people that eat this shit up with a spatula? Oh, damn it. I don't get it. I do not understand it. It's one thing. Ooh, it's one thing to blindly follow people who may not be. Sometimes, I guess what I'm trying to say is sometimes you might find a channel or even in the real world, and you know that it's like, oh, well, you know, I think that's probably bullshit. But there's something about the person that keeps you there or draws you in, so you overlook maybe other little problems or credibility. With her, I don't get it. I really don't. I see a whole lot of not so positive things that are counteracted with what? Where's my internet husband, Mike Stevens, when I need him? Because Mike is one of these people. He really likes her. And he and I have gone back and forth before about, he said to me one time that, you know, he's clearly had a little bit of her Kool-Aid as far as, you know, well, Bullhorn Betty doesn't just sit back and complain, she gets things done. Okay, like what? Where you get done? I'm just truly like, I would like some insight into, because it really does. It is something with all of these people that I ponder. And I'm not even joking. I truly mean, is it? How? I guess I just am from a time when I very much believe in being rewarded for, positive attributes and work habits and things like that. And I just, listen, I can very much acknowledge that there are differences in a lot of these people. I've already said, while I find Molly disgusting, I would never accuse her of being like Betty. Not in several respects. Like I really struggle trying to come up with some positives about Betty. And I mean that I'm saying that with all sincerity, and I'm not saying it in a joking way. Not that I believe she is 100% bullhorn Betty, but I think I think you see a whole lot of who she really is. I do. So it like someone like Molly, I can sit back and say, okay, well, it's probably anything that I ever connected with her on, which was she can be funny, and she can be funny in a very self-deprecating way, which I also do, because I find that it very much, if you can put someone at ease or make them maybe change their thinking about you that they might have formed quickly on nothing more than what they see, I have found, it has rarely failed me. If you can find a way to make someone laugh and to disarm them as far as whatever they might be thinking about you, and show them that you don't take yourself all that seriously, not in that kind of respect. That is very that's a very see, this is what that kind of nuance, Betty, you couldn't teach Betty that. And nobody taught me that. Maybe it's just part of getting older, because I certainly don't mean to say that I've been like that always, but for a long time. And I just really do struggle to come up with, it's like, I can't even say, oh, well, she's, I think she does a lot of good in her community, because I don't believe that. I think she is so involved in all that civic shit because it's her power. At least she thinks it is. She's a tyrant. She desperately needs attention, and she likes to feel large and in charge, which is, typically, well, I'm just going to say, I don't go to any of those kind of meetings, and I don't have any friends who do either. Notwithstanding something that might be a real, something that's going to really truly affect you or your family or your home. I'm not talking about that. So all of that, what I just said, makes me sit back and say, who the hell, who are these, however many subs she has? In the big scheme of the YouTube world, she's not any bigger than me. She thinks she is, but she's not. If you want to look at it from, our crop duster that we're flying over YouTube, and we're going to be dropping napalm in certain neighborhoods. Yeah, if we're looking from up there, she's no bigger than I am. but it truly does. Being someone who believes that you get the validation and you get the subs and whatever because people connect with what you're saying or doing. And I'm just wondering what are these people connecting with? And I'm truly not trying to be a smart ass. I'm not joking around. That's what I really want to know. I think beer can, I think that comment is very correct. Betty found a way to make a paycheck. What else is she going to do? And I think that holds true for many of these people. The internet has opened up a big old wide world of, call it what you will. But as someone who thinks you logically, you build a channel, people help you out along the way, and the more you connect with people in a perfect world, the more subs you get. I mean, I promise you, that is the way it will work for me. I will not, I'm not going to change who I am or what I want to talk about or how I want to do it because, oh, well, if you just change or do, well, you can pick up. No, hell no. The day that this becomes some kind of work and not enjoyable, maybe that's the difference. I don't know. This is nothing but, I could say it's a hobby. I mean, this is something I enjoy doing. And I think when you take away all the reasons you might have to do it, I just don't get it. I don't. Son of a bitch, if I drop those glasses one more time. Oh, I wish I could see without them, but I can't. All right, so Betty's pissed, and she's lecturing us about fair use with her, her Black Law Dictionary. And this is what she says. Quote, speaking to all of us dumbasses out here. You might need to get your Webster's Dictionary because Webster Dictionary, listen closely. I'm going to read this sentence again. And I want you to listen. Sorry. I'm going to turn this. There we go. Getting to that time of the day where the light starts getting real funky. I'm going to read this again, and I want you to listen closely to this sentence. And to me, this kind of sums it. Not the message of what she's saying. When I say it kind of sums her up and my feelings about her, I don't mean the content of what she's saying. Not yet. Just listen, and then you tell me what's wrong with it. Quote, you might need to get your Webster's Dictionary because Webster Dictionary don't have legal defined terms. You need a Black Law Dictionary to define these terms. Well, there's your legal scholar who can't speak proper English. And this is not a one-off, okay? She's not at Prayer Garden of America level of illiteracy. I don't mean to say that. But I promise you, she's no rocket scientist, okay? She wants you to think she is, but I have listened to her enough and watched enough to know she is not as smart, which should be obvious, as she wants people to think she is. She may be able to pull this fuck shit on a lot of her people, but it doesn't work on people who really are educated. I see her for exactly what she is. She is a poser. I will take her at her word that she has a degree from Kaiser University, college, whatever they call it. I can tell you that, in my opinion, that is a finance company that gives you the, when the ride's over and you exit through the gift shop, you get a very expensive piece of paper to put in a frame that up until not that many years ago, there wasn't even a matriculation agreement in place. Okay. State schools didn't take credits from that school, not all of them. Not for, I don't know exactly how many years, but I can tell you back in the Stone Age when I was in school, those schools, they didn't, she couldn't have left there and gone to University of Florida or Florida State or University of South Florida, whatever the case may be. So, and to me, it shows. Oh, Jasmine. She says she even notices it in English in her first language. And listen, the reason that I point this out, because she's not the only one, but the reason I point it out is because she's such a haughty, condescending bitch that I'm going to use what you give us. And you better tighten that game up too. Yep, she's pretty much raging at everybody listening about, quote, people stealing from us. So basically, she feels like her videos are put out there, and I can't get inside her head clearly if I wanted to, and I don't. But I'm assuming that she's probably talking about the clip channels. But Betty, if you would stop giving them so much material, maybe this wouldn't be a problem. But, Betty, being the legal scholar that you are, and the community activist, and the investigative journalist, and the, DIY law enforcement, there's a book you might want to read, Betty, because I think it would help you a lot. And it's a classic. Dale Carnegie, How to Win Friends and Influence People. I'm pretty sure none of your tactics are in that book, but you'd be well served to read that book. Because sometimes silence speaks much louder than you could ever hope to, whether you're standing on a black law dictionary or clubbing someone over the head with it. Just saying. I'm just trying to help you out, girl. Hold on. I'm reading the chat. Oh, Cosmic Love. This thing looks like the demons in my nightmares. So much Botox. Are you talking about me? What are you talking about? Please enlighten me. We'll wait. See, now if I was Betty, I'd start raging. But I don't care. Okay, so someone get back to me if Cosmic Love enlightens us. I just want to make sure that it's, I'm assuming it's me. I don't see anybody else up here. Yes, I do remember the TikTok thing. And, that's always made me wonder. And I think I asked her before, why leave TikTok when you're, clearly, I think she said they had millions. I think I could be wrong. But like everything else, it's, about how fabulous she was over there, which takes me to that old expression. For me personally, if it's not broke, I don't fix it. So it just curious to me. Okay. Here's another quote. Quote, you guys need to get your legal dictionary out or get an attorney. End quote. I rest my case, Your Honor. Yes. As if her raging about fair use, if you're Bama Cat, well, thank you and welcome. As if there's either or, like, if you use my shit, get yourself a legal dictionary. And here's just a little 411. Black's Law Dictionary is just that. It is a dictionary. It defines legalese, terminology, and vernacular. What it is not is a procedural book. That would be encompassed within, it's Florida Rules of Civil Procedure or the Florida Rules of Criminal Procedure, which is exactly what it sounds like. It lays out the procedures and the steps you need to go through when, all of the law is governed by statutes, procedures. So even that statement in and of itself is just absolutely stupid. Like, these are your choices. Get yourself a dictionary or get a lawyer. Okay. If you say so. Quote, we are going to start taking legal action if you guys want to steal our work. End quote. Who the hell wants to steal your work? Because you are wrong, probably more than you're right. So if I'm going to, and it's very rich to hear her raging about stealing when her love, JLR, one of the best people she knows, which makes me draw the conclusion that she either knows, very few people, or her what's the word I'm looking for? Schematic is what I'm thinking, but that's not the word I want. Her matrix. Her matrix is a little broken, maybe. I mean, everybody who has made a mistake and paid their debt to society should certainly have a chance to resume a law-abiding life. And I'll take him at his word that he is. But what we're not going to do is turn him into a martyr, okay? And make it sound like he got a raw deal. Because he didn't. And he did a lot of really gross shit to a lot of people. And for her dumbass to sit there and purport that, well, we're getting there. That's at the end, don't worry. Beer Can, I was going to watch that on Netflix, the Leonard Cohen documentary. I love that song. Hallelujah. I'm trying to think. There was someone that sang that song that, honest to God, if you weren't made of stone, it would make you cry. And I want to say it might have been on American Idol one year. Oh. Legal action. Gee, do you think she's talking about a cease and desist? I wonder. Betty subs. Not that I care. I don't give a damn what you do. I don't care if you give her every dime you have. I don't care if you spend every moment of your existence following her across the country while she harasses people who don't deserve it. If that's what your life is about, well, enjoy. But for those of you that might even be a little bit on the fence, wake up. She is nothing that she tells you she is, and she's everything that she won't tell you. Everything she tries to act like she's not is what she is. And she repeatedly lies about her criminal history. When I say straw man, don't just think Betty's hair. Think what's under the hair. Because like a very juvenile, not so smart person, listen, there's people who are brilliant who can pull off a straw man. She ain't one of them, okay? She will say things like this repeatedly. You want to talk about my criminal record? You say I've been arrested 42 times. I haven't had any interaction with the law for 20 years, which is absolute, pure, unmitigated bullshit. It's in black and white. If I cared enough, I would print it directly off of the clerk of the court's website. I don't give an F. I don't care enough. But I do care enough to call out that she is lying. That is not true. See, where I have a problem is with people like her that are this lipstick is probably smarter than Betty, okay? It's the whole, don't piss on my leg and tell me it's raining. I don't like people who are not very bright, who want to insult the intelligence of the public at large. Now, I can't help the fact that there is obviously a segment of said public that is also not very smart because they fall for it. It almost, to me, speaks more about the people who follow her than it does her. I get why she's doing it. She lies her ass off and does the shit she does for this. It's her job that she bought herself, I guess. This is her career. Well, I'm sure in her mind it beats whatever job she could get with her record. Let's not forget about that, okay? No matter what she tells you, she has had law enforcement involvement over the last, I want to say, 20 years. Even like, I'm pretty sure the only job, I don't even know the job that doesn't check your record. I don't give a damn if you're cutting grass. Because here in Florida, we have lots and lots and lots and lots of property maintenance companies landscape maintenance, because, we have lots of condos and, deed restricted neighborhoods, etc. Places where all that stuff has to be kept up and maintained. And your homeowner's fees pay for a lot of that kind of stuff. Well, they don't just let anybody come and be on the property, these maintenance companies. They don't want to be responsible if something happens. I mean, they have to be bonded, insured, blah, blah, blah. This isn't like Joe Schmo pulling up in his truck who's got with his magnetic sign, company of two, and they're going to take care of all the maintenance. The point is, there's not many jobs you can get anymore with what you tell me, what employer? Tell me. Chat if anyone has any suggestions. Beer can, she is a petty. She's just a petty, nasty bitch. She's a petty Betty. And you know what? You weren't even a creator, I presume. You were a sub. You didn't know. She knows what she's doing, trust me. But yeah, the point is, nobody on YouTube's checking her references and her criminal history, et cetera, et cetera. So I don't care where she had to try and get a job. Who do you think is going to be? First of all, we got to take everything into consideration, okay? Prospective employers here. Hey, Radar CP. Oh my God, I love your avatar. That sweet dog. Is that a doodle? We're going to take everything into consideration. And listen, I've hired people. I've hired 2 assistants in the not so distant past off of Indeed. And holy shit, I had some people who were way overqualified. I mean, when I found the one I wanted, I hired that girl like instantly. And she was way overqualified. But my point is, we're going to take everything into consideration. So prospective employers, here comes Betty. Let's just say we've got, I don't know, let's just say we have a gift shop. Or we're working in the mall. Forever 21. She can't order anything at Forever 21. Just some store in the mall. And here comes Betty with her very impressive resume. What does she put? Civil rights activist, community agitator. Oh no, that would be my words. Malcontent. Lengthy criminal record. Whether that just be arrests and or actual convictions, I don't know. Don't care. The fact that it's there is problematic, okay? So we got all that. And then we've got the whole presentation. And I'm not saying this just to bust on her. I'm trying to make a point here. I think I've busted on her enough, as well as everyone else. And that point is this. She looks a hot-ass mess, okay? She does not present like someone who's got her shit together. Her hair is all broken off. She's dressed like a damn slob most of the time. I've never seen her wearing anything. I don't think I've ever seen her in a friggin' shirt with a button on it. So she's got her criminal record. She doesn't present well. And then she opens her mouth. And that's it. We already filled the position. Thank you for checking, though. We'll keep your application on file. Never. Hey, K-Mash, how you doing? Heels in the Air has come back, our hall monitor. Oh, no, she's the door holder today. So just please bear that in mind when this is how I rationalize her having the number of subs she has and the platform she has and being able to bullshit people like she does. And here's what I've come up with. When you got to hold on to this for dear life. Bye, Prissy. I hope you feel better. And we will talk later. If I was in her shoes, well, hell, this beats McDonald's, I guess. So I'd be holding on for dear life too. I would grab a hold of this and I would do any kind of shitty, underhanded, dirty thing I had to do, I guess, to keep on holding on to it. I mean, it makes perfect sense. She's found a way to not only have to worry about regular employment, besides, if I'm not mistaken, has she not said several times that she's on Social Security disability? My God, that is shocking. And if that's incorrect, I will absolutely retract that and give her a full apology. But if it's true, that means she's also getting, I would imagine, I'm not 100% certain, but I would imagine if she is on Social Security disability, for what I'm not sure, because she doesn't appear to be disabled in any way. But if she is, I would imagine, I don't know, I've never been on it. I've never taken a penny of any kind of aid in my life. And I'm not knocking anybody who has to. I was always blessed to have help when I needed it. Everybody needs help in this life at some time or another. So this is not about someone getting help from the government as something to bridge the gap between falling on hard times and being able to, get yourself back up on your feet over here. It's the people that fucking live in the middle that I have a problem with. That think it's like some kind of a vocation, professional welfare queen. So if she is on Social Security disability, I promise you she is also eligible for food stamps or whatever they call it now, EBT, whatever. Well, we know it's not WIC, thank God. So it does help explain why she's got to sell this story to whoever will buy about how smart she is and all the good works that she does. I don't buy it. I don't believe it. And I can tell you this. In the event that she has actually ever helped find someone, and I know about Kathleen Moore, I ain't going there because we know what she did there, okay? But in the event that she has done some good somewhere, great. I think that is nothing more than a very serendipitous side effect. I don't think anything that she does is done with the benefit of other people in mind. It's for Betty's benefit. Under the guise, she's smart enough, though, to know that she can't exactly come forward and say, listen, I'm on Social Security disability. I don't want to work, can't work, whatever the case may be. I'd rather crimes in fashion and everybody in this chat who pays taxes, I'd rather they go ahead and just send me a check every month. But it's not enough money. I need to supplement my income. And I'm too good to do any kind of, real work. So instead, I'm going to bring my vast breadth of legal knowledge and just all around general knowledge. And I'm going to come and come to YouTube and gift YouTube with all my brilliance. And I can assure you, I am not in the minority with my thoughts on her. I think everything she does is all for Betty and Betty's checkbook. And I don't have anything against people making money on here because, like I said, I get it. This is a lot of work. I have no problem with people making money. I have problems with people like her. The next comment I'm going to read was someone in her chat in this video. Heels, we're talking about your video from yesterday. Someone in the chat, and the question was highlighted. Anybody who's ever watched her knows that Betty does not tolerate dissension, and you better just mind your P's and Q's and remember who's in charge up in here, okay? This is Betty's channel, and Glow with Glow. Bad back, yeah. Who doesn't have it? I got a bad back too. But she can't even pretend in a chat. Like, she can't ignore anything. Did y'all happen to see the person who came in and wasn't very nice to me? I fucking laugh. I laugh. I don't give a shit what some random people on the internet think. The people that I care what they think, we're all good. But Betty cannot do that. So she can't even be, she's so hyper aggressive. So someone made the huge error of putting a comment in the chat. I wish I'd written down who it was. And the comment was, quote, why do criminals, ex-criminals, want to work on missing persons cases? I think that is a very legit question. I don't see anything out of line. It's the truth. Why she couldn't have just said something along the lines of, listen, I can only speak for me, this ex-criminal. And, I've made some mistakes in my life, and this is how I want to try and, move forward and maybe help somebody with some of the things I've learned. Oh, no. Oh, no. That's not what you get. What she said was, I didn't get the very beginning. She said, quote, who are you? Are you the drug addict husband and wife duo? Who are you and why are you on my channel? Ellipsis, ... And why do ex-criminals want to work on missing persons cases? Because we're great at our jobs. We're great at what we do. If you say so. I mean, how absurd is that? Now, you heard what I said, Bama Cat, yes, we have all made mistakes. 35 years ago, I forged a check when I was 18 years old. I don't think you were here when I revealed my white collar criminal career. But I know these mofos, and they don't like me. I promise you that. They do not like me. They don't want me talking about them. They've done some, they do things. Some of them do things in a certain type of way. And all I'm going to say is, I got the message. I got the message. I don't care. But because I will not give them that pleasure of, doxing me. That's the one thing that I knew eventually they would try and come at me with. So I just did it myself because I don't care. 35. Unlike Betty, who likes to lie and say that was 20 some odd years ago. No, mine really was 35 years ago when I was 18 years old. The one and only time in my life I have ever been in trouble with the law. So, yes, we do all make mistakes. Everybody does. We are all deeply flawed, some more than others. Here's the thing this is another thing that makes me crazy. People assign things to me that I have never said or done. It's their interpretation, and then they put it out there like it's something that came from me. I've had a few people say to me, Jelly, oh, you think, I've heard a couple versions, but one was the woman who told me that I should come on camera without any makeup, which, just for the record, I have done before. That I should come on camera, I should cam up with no makeup, and that it's nothing more, I'm paraphrasing, but basically it was, you are your clothes and your makeup. And I was like, no, I'm not. And then the other version you get is, oh, well, she thinks she's so insert word because she's wearing insert name. I have never said anything of the kind. I am not a gauche, tacky bitch like these people. I don't do things like that. I wasn't brought up that way. I'd have been reamed from Maine to Spain if I said such a thing. But that's what they do. They assign things to you that you've never said or done. All I ever do is use their own words coming out of their mouth that they put on this platform for all of us to see. But they don't like that. So that comment, and I don't know who that is she was talking about, and even if I did, I wouldn't say the couple. I mean, it's like she's a 12-year-old boy. Her wardrobe belongs to a middle school boy. Her intellect belongs to a middle school kid. And what was I saying earlier about witty repartee? I promise you, if you said those two words to Betty, she would have no effing clue what you were talking about, because that's how she responds. Oh, what are you? Are you the drug addict couple? What are you doing in my comments? Get out of my channel. Wow. Tuesday child, exactly. I've told them numerous times, especially Molly. You can gift wrap yourself in a Chanel flag. You can, it doesn't matter. None of that, which is why they're so miserable, because they don't get that. Well, I'm not talking about Betty. That's more for Molly. You can't fix what doesn't feel right or good inside by whatever you clothe it in. None of that means anything. Obviously, I like certain things. I don't need to apologize for that. And I don't lord that over anyone. I never have. You won't ever find me doing that. I will bust on them about their shitty wardrobe, but what I've never said and what I never will say. Oh, wait a minute. I might have to walk that back a little. I have said to Dolly, because he used like to talk about my shoes, and he would, he wanted to lecture me one time about, well, if you're not a nice person, I don't care how much shoes cost, some bullshit like that. That's very rich coming from him too. And I think when I was reading him for filth the other day, I did say to him something about my shoes, and I said, "Oh yeah, I hope you like them. They cost more than the lot rent on your friggin' mobile house." So I walk that back. I have done that before. What are you doing? What are you doing? Hi. Oh God, I got a little dog who wants me. Okay, so, and I'm almost done anyway. So here's what Betty, in further response to that comment about, why do criminals want to work on missing persons? And for whatever reason, Betty, we all know this, Betty's got a lot of love for JLR. I don't know why. I mean, I don't get it. I mean, besides the fact that he's super hot, but super hot and a great personality. I mean, the eyebrows alone. Jonathan, we got to talk about these eyebrows, honey. You are, Jonathan, you're kind of scaring me every time I see you. They make your already unanimated face. Don't lead with your eyebrows, Jonathan. Dude, I don't have any problem with the boys finding Sephora. Like I'm good with that. But Jonathan, those eyebrows, call Mal. Call PayPal Mal. She might be able to give you some tips, because those eyebrows, those do not belong on your face, sir. Oh goodness. Sorry, you guys. I can't, the left is right, right is left thing. I will never figure it out. What are you doing? I got cats, I got dogs. My husband just came home. This is what Betty had to say about JLR. And the only reason that I'm even mentioning this, it's not even about JLR. In his resume, imagine if he tried to get a job. Can you imagine? Seriously now? The quote I'm going to read, the reason I'm going to read it is because this is her level of chicanery. This is how much of a bullshitter she is. And to me, it's just an overall disrespect for not only the people that like her. Oh, Ted's here. The Unabomber. Hi. Thanks for coming by. Morning Glory. You don't know who JLR is? Yes, you do. That's Betty's wannabe. That's who Betty sings the praises of. It's her best friend in the world. Of course, he typically won't even acknowledge her existence. So I don't know how that little relationship works. But anyway, yeah, it's just her level of, she just, It's something that is such an obvious, provable lie. Why do you lie about it? I mean, I would have had no problem with her saying, hey, you know what? He's my friend. I don't give a shit what you think of him. He and I are very close. And, I'm not going to listen to you shit talk my friend. Even though I wouldn't agree with the assertion, that doesn't mean I couldn't respect it. But instead, this is what you get. I can tell you, his punishment far exceeded the crime. That man went through pure hell. Oh, I bet he did. Over something so stupid. At the end of the day, he was put in prison for 10 years for about $250. That's what people don't understand. That's sick. It's sick. Well, Betty, I think you and I have a very different metric for what is considered sick. And I think did you forget a few zeros and a comma? Like 3 more zeros, a comma, and a decimal point? Because I think 250,000 is probably more in line than 250. I believe Heel's video said he purchased a house with cash for what, 170K? Cash that was stolen from other people via fraud, embezzlement, whatever financial crimes he committed. You'd think I'd know, being a white collar criminal myself. And then there was 30 some odd thousand in cash in the house. There was a recorded clip Heels played of him interviewing with someone, maybe his media company mogul, who's, currently just serving a bit in prison, but it's all a misunderstanding. All this, so provable. This is not speculation. This is documented. And she looks at her whole audience and all the rest of us, does what she thinks is reading somebody for filth, but she's not verbally skilled enough to read anyone for filth. She can froth at the mouth and throw F-bombs at you and, have little tantrums and maybe pull out what's left of her hair, but I can't do what I'm doing to her. Doesn't make her a bad person. No, other things that make her a bad person, in my opinion. So, yeah, it's so weird. Why do you do this? Why do you lie about shit that is so provable that you are full of shit? You are a liar. It's not us. It's you. This is why I have a problem with her. This kind of stuff. And all the rest of them. It's not because I'm jealous, because I want her wonderful life, her wardrobe, her husband, her children, her dog, her car. No. What is it? I wouldn't trade one thing that I have to be her for an hour. And the same thing goes for all the rest of them. Her new, old, new again, BFF. That's what I'm waiting for. That's going to be good when BHB and MGL, when that shit goes nuclear. Oh, and it will. And what do I wonder what it'll be over. Well, if I had to guess, I would say money, subs. Oh, it never ends well. It never ends well. They both have big egos, although Molly's is probably bigger than hers. And I think I'll just leave it there. Oh God, yeah. I mean, listen, water seeks its own level. There are no choir members in this confabulation of pimp people. Bob, what are you doing? Bob had to get a haircut today. Oh, you want to hear something hilarious? So Bob goes to get his haircut, and he hadn't been to the groomer since right before Christmas. And he's a Bichon, and Bichons get really huge afro hair. Well, he hadn't been to the groomer since December, and when he went in December, I don't cut him short in the winter. So even though he was at the groomer just 8 weeks ago, he was already getting long, his coat. So when he went today and I dropped him off, I said to the lady who does it all the time, she's like, what do you want me to do? I said, well, if you could just take off maybe 75% of that hair. I said, keep his head full, but just that'd be perfect. I come to pick him up. And this is how you can tell that they have some cuckoo people that go there. The lady walks out. She doesn't have Bob. First, she comes out, and she's got like a Tyvek envelope, like a mailer. And she comes out, and she's holding this thing, and she goes, I know you didn't want me to shave him, but I just want to show you. She opens up the envelope, and there's like a puppy. All of Bob's hair. I said, what? She goes, I just wanted to show you. He had so much hair. And it's not that the hair was not matted or anything like that. She just couldn't get the clipper through enough. He had so much hair that it was only an hour appointment. She couldn't just scissor him like a topiary and get him down as short as I want him to be in that time. I just started laughing. I'm like, you can put the hair back in the back. I said, as long as you've been cutting his hair, you really thought you needed to come out here and show me his hair as an explanation as to why you cut him? And she goes, well, I had this lady last week. Oh my gosh, she was so mad. She told me to take a 1/4 inch off his ears, and I took about 3/4, and she called me crying. So I don't want that to happen anymore. Oh my God, it was hilarious. I'm like, are you shitting me? I said, clearly she doesn't have enough problems going. So, all right, I dropped my glasses again. I'm trying to read what. Oh, I'm sorry. I have to get my glasses because I need, this was part of the title and I need to be able to read it properly. Yes, we're getting to the good part. Shit, I don't have enough time to talk about Mallory. I don't think my ass will last much longer in this seat. And I'm sure you guys don't want to listen anymore either. Here was Betty's last thought on Jailer. And, just she and her posse that have criminal records, I guess. Quote, you have no idea the pressure we created. I think that's what she said. Of course, I wrote question mark WTF. We turned our lives over to God. God guides us. To which I said, tell God he needs to check his Google Maps again, because I think you have gone off course. God's guidance has guided you. Well, she's on the service road and not the one I'm on. What is it? What is this thing she's does? She acts like a viper, some kind of possessed, some animal foaming at the mouth, reading you for filth, cussing you out 6 ways to Sunday. And then the next day it's, oh, God bless you. God bless. Happy Valentine's Day. God bless you. Betty, do me a favor. And I'm sure I'm speaking for the board of the Manatee County Commissioners, who I promise you hate your ass, okay? I'm just going to go ahead and speak on their behalf and say what they can. They hate you. The only mention of God they want at their board meeting is, God, please stop sending that bitch our way. Please give her an emergency phone call every day we have a meeting. I'm telling you, I never laughed so hard when she had her little BLCC meeting where she explained that to the board about, oh my gosh, the last meeting we had, I got in my car and I pulled in the parking garage and the meeting was adjourned. And I was like, yeah, bitch, that's because they have cameras and they saw you come in and they said, meeting adjourned. We managed to get through this whole thing without her miserable ass, and we ain't dealing with her now. Yeah. Betty, you acting like a rabid animal is not, you cannot counter that. You can't erase it. You can't offset it by then, God bless you. And what the hell does Valentine's Day have to do with God bless you, by the way? I don't get that. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to presume to know her religion or lack thereof. Don't know, don't care, none of my business. But when you want to start like throwing that around, I mean, I'll just call it what it is. To me, it's like everything I see from her, it's a manipulation tactic to get something, whether it's to curry favor, to appear to be a nicer person, whatever it is. I don't know. I don't want to get in her head. It's bad enough commenting on it from the sidelines. I surely don't want to get in it. So, we did get through all of that. What's tomorrow? I think we should. Yeah, it's been almost 2 hours and 15 minutes, and I know y'all don't want to hear any more of this shit. And I got a little dog that wants to go for a walk, even though he's bald now. I'm like, Bob, it's okay. We love you no matter. Betty, girl, you could learn a thing or two from Bob. Bob is rocking his new bald hairdo. Of course, Bob's a lot nicer than you, but I love you too, girl. Heels in the air. I love all you guys. I appreciate you humoring me and listening to me. But I think what we're going to do, we're going to come back tomorrow because I got some thoughts on Mallory and something specific. And then that's going to lead us into a much broader conversation. And what we're going to talk about tomorrow is a very short clip from Heels in the Air. Look, Heels, it must be a source of pride that you are quite literally our trusted, citable source here on YouTube. And I mean that we all look to you and the other great and credible clip channels that we know. If you put it out, we know you've already done the work for us. So thank you. And that is the clip. I believe it was from this morning as well, and it was very short. And it was Mallory talking about Queen Bee. And yeah, I have questions. I'm not going to get into them here, but we will talk about them tomorrow. And guess what, kids? I'm fairly certain that between now and the time I put my ass back in this seat tomorrow, which it's going to take that long for my sciatic nerve problem to work itself out after this marathon, I'm pretty sure we're going to have, listen, these people do not disappoint. There will be someone that will do some dumb, unadvisable thing, and I'll just add it to the list. But hey, Wanda Wonders, you're just in time. I'm sorry. Stella Bella. Oh, that's so cute. I love that name, Stella Bella. Yeah, I want to talk about what she said about Queen Bee. Man, you know what, Mallory? Here's what I'm going to say before I go walk my dog. You are so easy to read. I mean, and I hope, because I've had people that I lost a sub or two because of talking about her. I mean, that's unfortunate, but it's not enough to stop me from talking. And I'm not going to tell people who have said to me that, you know, they've known her a long time and that she really is a good person. She just works really hard to hide it. She is a good person, and that the fallback on that she always goes to, and her subs, I guess, as well, and that is that it's all in the name of comedy. Well, I'm sorry, I don't agree. I think that she has to work real hard for somebody who supposedly is such a comedic genius. And listen, I remember when I came on the scene about a year ago, I guess. I remember my first few encounters listening to Mallory because I was, you know, I had a couple subs in common and they said, oh God, you've got to check her out, blah, blah, blah. I did check her out and I didn't get it. I mean, but back then I didn't see this mean-spirited thing. And what I think that is, I didn't find her to be that entertaining. I mean, she ripped off the bibble. That's ripped off from Joan Rivers, I believe. The Bell thing I hated, but she wasn't anybody that I feel like I feel now. But I distinctly remember this, and it was one of the things that turned me off about her. Besides the fact that I truly just didn't find her that entertaining, because everything was like a nonstop, like a stand-up bit that you just can't, they just will not invoke the mercy rule. Like, you just can't get her to shut up. And it's all just in that same vein. I find her to be a one-trick pony. It's a bibble. The fucking Bell and her wish list. That's one of the funniest things. The sub that turned me on to her, it was funny because she's like, oh my God, you've got to check this, you know, Mallory, House of Williams. I think she told me that she saw like similarities, I guess. I kind of reminded her of Mallory or vice versa. I don't know. But the second thing she said was, oh, and she's got a wish list on Amazon. That's what she does. She puts up her Cash App. Well, at first I was kind of like, oh, okay. But now, with this perspective I have now, even though it's not much more, but it is some. I have a little more insight into her. Now that I sit back, I look at that differently. And here's what I'll tell you, what I remember before all her, when she really got hooked up with Molly and got her just due. Because she is listen, here's the one thing that it was a constant. And it was one of the reasons that I was turned off by her, that I just was like, I didn't have any dislike for her. I just didn't find her to be anybody I wanted to listen to. But I didn't have any, I don't feel about her, didn't feel about her then like I think of her now. And that thing is this that turned me off so much from her. The handful of times that I listened to her, it was literally all about how unappreciated she was on YouTube, how long she'd been on YouTube. She's the funniest person on YouTube. And it was almost like, if anybody's ever worked in an office where they do sales, and I always call it the boiler room, where all the phones are and they dial for dollars. And it would be like the rah-rah meetings in the morning where the sales manager would come in and say, okay, first, you got to hit X amount of phone calls, and the first one to get to blah, 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 well, you win a car. No, you don't win a car. You get a fucking $50 gift card to Chili's or something. But it was that type of thing. Every episode that I heard was basically her giving the marching orders to the subs. And it was, listen, people, you got to get out there and you got to get my name out there. You're the ones who are going to take me to the top. And it just all went on in that vein. And, it was like, oh, listen, I do my part. I come on here and people. I come on here. I'm the funniest woman on YouTube. Blah, 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 blah. Somebody lied to you, honey, because you are not the funniest woman on YouTube. You're not the funniest anything on YouTube. So I now have a better insight into why I think she's doing all the fuck shit that she does now. And I think it's because when she saw the opportunity, it started with the bullshit with Dirtbag Dolly, and he took up for her with the foul, disgusting shit that she said about Summer Wells. And she had that battle with Tiffany Marie, who, not for nothing, I've said it before, I'll say it again. I hope she got down on her knees and thank God that Tiffany Marie didn't decide to make her more of a project. Because that, whether you like Tiffany Marie or not, Mallory, that was in the absolute most disgusting, poorest taste. Forget about the obvious reasons because you're talking about a baby. But the fact that you would talk that shit to someone that you know has a very strong attachment and love for Summer Wells. And it doesn't matter whether you understand or agree with that or not. It's just a lack of all around taste, class, manners to have done what you did. I mean, I don't even need to, I could come up with some analogy, but I'm not going to. I mean, it would kind of be like if I walked into Donatella Versace's boardroom and I said, yeah, I really like your summer line, but God, when your brother was the head of design for this company, God, that fucker was tacky. Oh, God, I hated everything he designed. You get it? It was just in the poorest taste. And when Dolly defended her, and he's got his friggin' Stepford people that march to his redneck drum. Apologies, rednecks. And she started, I think, picking up some traction. And then, because all that shit she said about Summer Wells, well, that's just because she's a comedy genius. She's a legend in her own mind and no one else's. She got that little taste, I think, of she was probably trending. I don't know because I didn't check her. That was it. Not that I ever listened to her much at all before that, but I literally unsubbed. And that's pretty rare for me to actually take the time to unsub to somebody. I mean, I usually can't be bothered. But, oh, Wanda, that's very interesting what your comment says. Yeah. What is it that takes down anybody typically who is dumb enough to, well, they're usually the people who are flexing and flossing all over social media, showing all their swag and all their things they get that, I don't know, a lot of them maybe don't pay taxes on. Yeah, it's never a good idea to get a lot of people pissed at you while you have some maybe dirty lingerie, dirty financial lingerie, we'll say. Takes down a lot of people. So that it wouldn't surprise me if any of these clowns, y'all, I know there's no finance majors here, and I certainly don't pretend to be, but I do know that anything you make on here, it's not free money, and it's all traceable and trackable, okay? It just is. Unless someone meets you in a parking lot and hands you a bag of cash. And trust me, that ain't happening. But so she got that little taste of street cred and getting her due when Dolly took notice for whatever reason. Ooh, I won't even speculate on what that reason could be, but I have thoughts. And then I think she's calculated enough that Sloppy Molly, which is what she called her for God knows how long. God, I've often wondered if any of these people had any class and were normal. I wouldn't even have to ask this question because I already know the answer. But it does beg the question. Do you think it was awkward when she and Sloppy Molly met face to face for the first time? And God, if it had been me, I'd have felt like all kinds of trash if somebody I had just talked mad smack on gave me an off-season Coach bag. That was ugly, by the way. And a pair of glasses that probably came from the flea market. So yeah, that would have been very awkward if it was me, but it's not me. So when I think she got such a taste of something that she's been longing for a long time, and I think she liked it. And I think when the opportunity presented to throw her lot in to become a member of Tragedy Pimp Inc., which, by the way, remind me tomorrow and I will check our results where we are. I'm pretty sure, I think Molly was in the lead. Oh my God. Listen, more power to her. If she can get stupid people to give her their money, enjoy. God, I wish she'd hire an interior decorator with the money, for God's sake. But yeah, so I think that she is probably finding herself in the exalted heights of YouTube right now, where she has long deserved to be. And I think she likes it. I think she likes it a lot. And I think she will do and say anything to stay there. Hi, Libby, what are you doing? You all see my big old fat boy? Libby, I don't think that chair is big enough for you. So anyway, we're going to talk about her tomorrow and her thoughts, what she said about Queen Bee. And then it will quite naturally segue into a discussion I was having with my husband Sunday night about Mallory's people. So that's what we're going to do. I'm sorry, it's been 2.5 hours. This is way too long. And Bob agrees. So, all right, y'all. Thank you so much for everyone who joined me. I appreciate it so much. And for anyone who will catch it on the replay, and we will reconvene tomorrow. What is tomorrow? Wednesday, right? Or is today? Y'all don't know what damn day it is. It's the 21st. Oh, you know what comes out tomorrow? The Netflix Murdoch documentary. I think it's tomorrow. It might be today, but I think it's the 22nd. So there is that to look forward to. All right, it'll be the afternoon sometime. Probably about the same time. And I'm gonna really try, you guys, not to go down service roads that then take us to rabbit holes, back to the freeway. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me. This has been Crimes of Fashion, along with Fashionistas, Felons, and Fruit Loops, where we talk about some very bad, ignorant ass, poorly dressed, and sometimes mean AF people while being dressed to kill. All right, everybody. Have a great night. I will see you tomorrow.